I think one of the biggest problems within the Black community is not prioritizing the Black family.
There are a lot of people who want kids, but they don't want to be parents.
Let me say this, okay? I can talk about my mom, however, y'all cannot.
You better break up with me, bitch.
Hi, sister.
Hi, sister.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode. Are y'all enjoying it so far?
Now I'm nervous because it's like, you have to think, this is our first time filming since people have watched it.
Yeah.
So now it's it's not even scary. We just are feeling all the things in real time.
I feel naked.
In real time. We've had some very delicate conversations.
We've had so many conversations since the last episode aired.
Because y'all had a lot to say.
Y'all had a lot of opinions. And I feel like this feels so strange because these are conversations that we always have on a regular. Yeah. But now we're having them publicly.
With other opinions.
Not just publicly, like on the net, but with our people that we don't necessarily have these conversations with. We're kind of like...
Random people, and that's the thing too. Random people want to like give feedback. Like clients, friends, cousins, like people we ain't talked to in a minute. So it's kind of like, oh, y'all are tuned in.
But that's exactly what we want. Yeah. Like, regardless, anytime we talk about anything on the pod, regardless of who you agree with, me or Janai, or both.
Or disagree
with both. Like, the fact of the matter is we want everybody to be having these conversations. Because whether you feel like you grew up in a strict household with your parents or not, like, you know, you need to be having these conversations. Yeah. And parents now need to be thinking, okay, like, am I raising my kids to have autonomy or am I raising them to be fucking soldiers following the assembly line?
Yeah, and I think that that's something, especially with this whole thing, when we first started the inception of it, we kept saying like, we want people to talk. We want to create these conversations.
We just want to chat.
Yeah, we just want to fucking talk for a living. And the fact that we have these conversations with one another, there's so many times where we think to ourselves like, dang, I would love to be able to talk to this person about this or this person about this. So the fact that our little old bestie convos are turning into real...
Taking the net by storm.
Topics for not only like you, but like your family, your friends. Like I told you, my clients was coming in like, girl, let me tell you how I feel. Like giving like, hey, I think your bestie was right, even though she was reading you for filth. Like, oh, well, I think we're all looking at this wrong.
Also, I think your bestie needs to be committed. She's jealous.
Like, there are a lot of, you know, it's crazy the things that, the narratives that people would create off something this big.
Yeah, it's crazy how there are people who genuinely think that they know you based off of a 30-second clip. And it's like, oh, if you think that was good, tune in for more.
Mommy issues. Like, whoa.
Tip of the iceberg, babe. Where have you been? Catch up.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, let's cheers. We've got some chai lattes mixed in with a little bit of spiked eggnog.
Cheers. Kelsi has chai latte because Janai finished hers while we were setting up. So,
yeah, I've got a good bit.
I have a sip left because I took a gulp before. So
you can have some of mine if you want. You got to ask our manager to bring some down when he comes back.
I told you, I was like, hey, can you bring the extra eggnog? But I was like, he's like, no getting drunk on set.
He's going to be like, he's please get drunk so y'all can get
drunk.
Chit-chatting. Oh my gosh. So if you guys have not followed us on Instagram already, make sure you do that. Mm-hmm. We be posting like really introspective, cute stories. And one of the stories that we just posted, it was a questionnaire about like which pill you would choose. Mm-hmm. And there were 4 pills. So the pink pill was you get to live a soft life, but you can never be independently wealthy. The blue pill was that you could read minds, but you don't know where the thoughts are coming from. What were the other 2?
The red pill was you can be uber successful and wealthy, but you cannot have children. And then the pink pill was, did you already do pink?
I did pink. Yellow
pill was all your exes would be blocked, but you would never be married. Which I said that one surprised me because I'm like, damn, you bitches really want to be married that bad? No one chose that one, guys or girls. So,
but you know what too? I feel like, to be honest, I feel like a lot of y'all are not ready to block your exes, and that may be a hot take, but you know, I feel like that's why people don't pick that because they want the access to go back, and you know, you got to live your life, okay?
Yeah, whatever works for you.
But the one that most women, at least I saw, most women chose was The red pill.
Yes.
You can
The
be
top two were red and blue.
Yeah, you can be insanely successful, but you're not allowed to have kids ever. And I just am like, dang, that's so indicative of where I feel like the world is going right now. Like there's been such a drop in the birth rate because nobody fucking wants to have kids.
I was talking to my client, and I told you she chose blue. And so when she comes in, she's like, oh, let's talk about it. And she's like, yeah, I chose blue because like I already have a kid. And I was like, she's like, what'd you choose? Team fuck them kids. I chose red. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, no, like I'm cool on that. But I think that, we were having a conversation, and with her already having a child, she was saying, there are a lot of people who want kids, but they don't want to be parents. And she was like, and that's what I said. I was like, she's like, you never wanted kids? I'm like, it's not that I never wanted kids. The older I get, the more I realize, like, there aren't too many people that I feel like worth giving children to. And a lot of y'all like the idea of being parents and like having your little mini-me and dressing them up and being all cute or whatever. You don't want to be a parent when they're fucking 16. You don't want to be a parent when they're 18. You don't want to be a parent when they're 25 buying their first home and they need some earnest money. You don't want to be a parent then. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I would rather be insanely successful because then I know that I would never have to deal with possibly you being a piece of shit. Like,
so what was it that, okay, so, I just watched the last season of American Horror Story,
y'all gonna
right?
hate it.
I don't give a fuck. Okay?
No, I'm saying they're gonna hate us for liking it.
I don't give a fuck.
I hate us anyways.
American Horror Story, the last season, spoiler alert, basically there's this society of women that, was that what I was thinking of when I was like people who have, no, that wasn't it. No. Okay, fuck American Horror Story. I love American Horror Story. I watched Wayward. That's what it was. I watched Wayward, and if you've seen it on Netflix, again, spoiler alert, basically this hippie lady, she's a doctor, she basically realizes that the world is so fucked up because of the trauma that people go through, and then after going through that trauma, you have kids, and now you're passing down trauma to your kids. So she created a whole society basically where there were no kids allowed. And I was like, that sounds so extreme. However, I'm like, I could see why that would be a thing, because I think it's not necessarily, I don't necessarily think it's always that they don't want to be a parent. I don't think people really understand what being a parent really means and all that it entails and all the self-control you have to do and all the work you have to do on yourself before you can really be a well-rounded individual to be able to teach somebody else to be a well-rounded individual. And I think that, a lot of people have a lot of unresolved trauma. And if you're not looking into the things that happened to you that have kind of created the steps for you and made you the way that you are, then you can't possibly avoid passing some of those things down. So I agree. I think that people think it's cute. People want to know what their babies are going to look like. People want to pick out baby names, and they want to say that, oh my gosh, my husband, like we had children and I'm a mom and he's a dad. And yeah, but like, again, what do you do when your fucking child is having a meltdown? What do you do when, things are happening and like you have to teach your kids emotions?
Or when your child is like, this is such hot take, but when your child is like special needs or something, and now it's like the end of, not even the end of the fucking world, like you can't be a parent to a child that way. But I don't think life changes. And I think that like everybody prays that they're going to have a healthy, happy baby. But like, okay, so what happens when you don't? And now you have...
If you don't.
If you don't. But if you have a child that now needs you for the rest of their life, not just them 18 years that you think you're supposed to be committed to them. Yeah. So it's like, but that's why I chose red. Like, I chose red.
It's a lot of responsibility. Yeah. Kids are a lot of responsibility, and I don't think people take that into consideration.
What did you choose?
I chose red. I would choose... I don't think you need to block your exes in order to get married. I think that you can do that. Yeah. Like, I feel like that one was an easy one.
If you're really over whatever that is, you should be cool.
Yeah, to me, that was the simplest one. I just like, you just don't talk to them. Yeah. Pink, I have to be independently wealthy. Like I have to contribute to like my family and my life and the world and my legacy in that way. I just can't do it. And then
I feel like only women chose that one though. There was, I think there were two girls who chose it.
No, there's a guy.
Really?
There's a guy. Yeah, there's a guy.
Sassy. No, I'm just kidding.
There was one guy who chose that one, and then the blue mind read, but you can't. I don't.
But I told you.
I know.
So I was telling her earlier, same client, like I said, she chose blue, and so I was like, wow, you know what that says about you? you're so manipulative. And she's like, well, why would you say that? I'm like, because like, why would you want the power to be able to read people's minds and, you know, whatever, like you could use that for such bad. And she's so sweet and innocent. She's like, if you're watching this, girl, you're so sweet and innocent. She goes, I wasn't really thinking like that. I just would have been like, hey, so did you just say, like, what are you thinking about this? Like, you know, like I would, and I'm like, damn, what does that say about you? Because the way I would be manipulating and gaslighting the fuck out of people, like.
You sure would.
Oh, really? Oh, like, how are you feeling today? Oh, I think that you shouldn't go jump. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Nothing, but I feel like you were going to take the scenic route. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should hop on the highway this time. Like, maybe I'll take you home. They'll be like, damn. Then they'll be like, this bitch saved my life. Manipulative. Like, I think it's very interesting that not a lot of people chose pink because, like, you say in your mind, right? Like, I could never not be independently wealthy. But what if independently wealthy didn't look like from a relationship standpoint or even from like a parental standpoint, right? What if it was like, we became wealthy off of this, but this was the only way that you could be wealthy in like partnership deals. That's still not independently wealthy. Like, then what?
When I've heard the term independently wealthy, what I think of is like, your money's not coming from your parents. Your money's not coming from, you are earning money somehow. So even if we're earning money together, I'm still earning money, but I don't know, I guess, like, where's the fine print? But then again, it's like,
because it's like,
bitch, okay, like.
Is it because you're working?
Whoever would be presenting, if this was like a real thing, like whether it's like, you know, Squid Games or freaking the Illuminati or whatever the fuck, like whoever's presenting this to you, I'm sure they're not going to tell you the fine print of like, oh yeah, so independently
like
wealthy
how they did in
means,
Delicate.
yes, like they're going to scam you. So to me, I feel like that's, like you can never make money on your own.
What if I was scamming you?
You are.
We'll get into that next episode.
But yeah, like I think it just, the way that I took that as was, you can't make money by yourself, and I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that.
That pussy
for $40.
No, but for real, like, but I don't know. That's the way I feel like sometimes maybe loophole, right? Because I don't know. I have to think about who said they wanted the pink. Because like, do I know them well enough to know? Like, yeah, of course your ass wants to sit there and not do shit, you know? Or like maybe I don't know. Because I don't know. Maybe I chose that one too. I mean, I didn't choose that one too because it's like you don't even have the power to tell me what kind of money I can't make.
That's like, what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be. Yeah, I want to be able to
tethered.
Make money. Like, I want to feel successful on my own.
Yeah.
Like, I want to feel. You know, hello, there's the thing. Yeah. But yeah, like I want to feel. If I had to live for the rest of my life as like just like a stay-at-home mom or something. Like that's so boring to me. Like you don't have nothing else that you want to do, and you know this is not to alienate anybody. Like if you're a stay-at-home mom, I love that for you if that's genuinely what you want to do. But you know,
but I feel like people who make like a career, that sounds fucked up. But people who like are career mothers, like well, when I be seeing on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, they're like, I built a bubble playhouse for my kids from scratch. Like, it's like, maybe that is their job. Like, it's my job to create crafts and shit. So that's like.
I'm not going to lie. Parenting is a full-time job. Like so it's not about, but like, you know, you got a full-time job, but you're not getting paid for it. You're not, like, the reward you get is like raising well-rounded kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to get paid for it. I want to be known for it. Nobody gives a fuck about you being a good mom. Okay? Like, other than your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no recognition for.
It's just like me
crying on the internet about my mom. Like, oh, mommy's the best. Yeah. But like, you know, I want to work. I want to go work that job. Okay, I want to be successful.
Kim, here's your girl.
Kim, you get me? How bad do you want it? Bad. Okay, so out of the 4 pills, you had to only choose one. We want to know which pill you guys would choose. There is the red pill, which means that you will be insanely successful, but you cannot have kids. There's the pink pill that says that you'll live a soft life forever, baby, but you'll never be independently wealthy.
And then yellow is block all your exes, which they should be blocked, or never be married again. And then blue was the ability to read people's minds, but you don't know where the thought came from.
So let us know in the comments below which one you guys would choose, because we're trying to see some.
I want to see what y'all are. What's the audience giving? Like,
yeah, let's see.
Yeah, like
let's get a look into y'all's brain.
Since y'all want to know everything about us, because y'all clearly want to know everything about us and read us for fucking filth.
Oh my god,
reading y'all. We should do an episode like that where we look at their comments and read them for filth. I know, but laugh. But to their responses and laugh. But no, the responses and be like, Kate 2206 said that she wants to be a mind reader. Maybe your
If
husband
you
should
are,
divorce
I was gonna say,
you.
if you're Kate's husband or sister or friend,
Watch out
watch
for
that
Kate
bitch.
2206.
That'd be cute. Okay, we'll add that in. We'll add that in.
So we'll sprinkle that in.
I feel like speaking of conversations and wanting to know, as we said in the beginning of this episode, we've had so many conversations about mine and Janai's last convo. And I feel like a lot of the feedback that you were getting was that, I want Kelsi to open up. Like, I want to know what Kelsi's childhood was like, because I was kind of going in. And so, I think it was indicative of some childhood trauma. I'll be grown and say that. I'll take accountability and say that. So I feel like that was the biggest thing that we had heard. And getting into it, I think that's even like why I picked the pill that I picked, because, bitch, I grew up working. You need to work. Everybody needs to fucking work.
Contribute
bitch.
to this bitch.
If I gotta work, you gotta work. She gotta work. He gotta. Everybody needs to fucking work around this bitch, okay? And I feel like I had to work hard. I have immigrant parents, which is already a red flag.
Well, that's what we should do, a red flag counter on the TV. Ding! Every time we say some shit, like have David inside, like, that's a red flag.
Diagnosis.
Yeah.
And diagnoses on the fucking screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I came from immigrant parents who, they're Jamaican. And like, if you know anything about our culture, I hate to say it, but it's a very... I think every Jamaican you'll ever meet in life has some trauma, at least a little bit, from how we're raised. It's very misogynistic. And it's very, children are property. They're not humans. Children are to be seen, not heard. Like, very much so. Stay out of grown folks' business. What?
I'm putting that thought because I want you to continue your thought, but I just had a thought. Go ahead.
Well, what was your thought?
No, finish your thought because we're going to have a tangent. I can remember mine. You don't remember yours.
What did I say? Oh, children are seen, not heard. And it was very volatile. It was very, very volatile. It was very angry. It was very stiff. Like, I love my dad, and I have a lot more grace for my dad, I think, because my dad was he wasn't a shitty dad. My parents lacked. They didn't really teach us what they needed to teach us because they were, busy working and surviving and trying to like create things for themselves and their children. But my daddy is so sweet. Like, he's so sweet to us. And I think because my mom is mean, I have a lot less grace for her. I think it's harder to have grace for, mean old bitch. Like, damn, you're so mean.
We just talked about that today too.
Yeah. And, but yeah, my dad, when we lived in New York, I moved to Georgia in the 6th grade. So before that, my dad was working. He would have to drive 2 hours to work and 2 hours back. So I didn't really see my dad until like 7 p.m. most days. And I think we were going to bed by 9. So maybe he would come home, we would eat. Like, we didn't really spend a whole lot of time together. I was just telling you, like, the holidays didn't feel like holidays. I don't think a holiday season has felt like super festive and fun and wonderful and great since I was like 5 or 6. Like, where we didn't grow up around our family here. My parents didn't really do much to like create memories with us and to like make our childhood enjoyable. I don't think they ever saw our childhood as something that needed to be enjoyable. It was like, this is just how it works. Like, you grow up and you just fucking do your own thing as an adult. But I don't remember them doing, like, I don't have any memories of like my parents like getting us dressed up for homecoming or for fucking prom or like making it a big thing to come to our games. Like, David asked me the other day, like, when's the last time you've seen your dad? And I don't know. Like, I can't tell you the last time that I've seen my father in person.
Do you know what's crazy?
What?
You haven't seen your dad the entire time that we've been friends.
Yeah.
The entire time. One
feel like there might have been one time.
I think they came down here.
Right?
And you said that was early in our friendship, though. You have not seen your dad literally.
Were we friends when Nyla was born?
No. Nyla was around. No, Nyla was around.
Nah, because I was working in the club when she was.
Yeah, but no, we weren't close enough for me to like.
Maybe we weren't close.
Nyla was talking by the time she got introduced to my life. So.
Tolerance had just went to the military.
Not just went to the military. They had just moved to Columbus, not to like.
No. You met my sister when she lived with my mom.
Oh yeah, but they were still.
Tolerance had just went to
kids,
the Air Force.
Yeah, but the kids weren't. That was on the end, the skirts of your sister living with your mom, because she stayed there for a little bit, and then not shortly after they bought the house, and they moved. Okay. Yeah. So, but Nyla, I remember like TJ may have been like
3 or 4.
like 5, like 4 or 5.
Anyways, it's been a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a long fucking time since I've seen my dad. And I think I know how crazy that sounds. When I hear it, I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy. Like, you haven't seen your father, like, you haven't touched your father, like, you haven't hugged your father, like, whatever. And like, but I'm so disconnected from what I feel like I should feel from it. Like, someone like you, right? If you hadn't seen your mom, you'd be breaking down. I like know I should feel that way. And I know that I should be like more emotional about it. And I'm not. Like, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like, not that I don't care. I love my dad. But like,
I think it's an out of sight, out of mind thing too. Like, and y'all still talk. Yeah. So I feel like if you didn't talk to him and you didn't, whatever, and when y'all talk for a very long
hours.
For hours. Kelsi, I was talking with my dad at like 7 and it'll be midnight. She'll be like, I'll call you back tomorrow, sister. I just called phone with my dad. Like, well, fuck. What y'all gotta catch up with? But I get that though. How do you think you're gonna feel when you see him again? Have y'all made any plans to do that? Or
David and I keep trying to make plans to go down and see him. And we were gonna go in October and we had it set. We were gonna drive down there. But then my dad was like, I think my brother had some kind of like performance or something. I think he's in the band. Mm-hmm. But no, whenever I see anybody in my family, it's so crazy because I feel so disconnected when I'm not around them. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just, again, out of sight, out of mind. Like, I just don't really think too much about it. But when I see them, my heart, like, I be on the verge of tears because I'm so happy. When I went to Toronto with Micah, like 2-3 years ago?
2-3 years ago now.
I hadn't seen my Canadian side of the family.
You were so happy.
I had not seen my Canadian side of the family in 10 years or longer. I was so happy. So like, I love being around them. And I say it all the time. I wish my dad lived here because I would see him all the time. But it's just like, when you're here, you're here. And like, we could be here and I'm present and I love this and I'm so happy. But then like, when we're not here, I'm also okay. But I think that that's a defense mechanism because I've had to be okay. I think like our lives were kind of ripped apart when my parents, like when my mom moved down here, we lived with my dad up until, like I said, going into 6th grade. And then we moved here for 6th grade. And it was like, everything, my whole life was like turned upside down. And I was so
shaking the shoebox.
I thought I was such a mommy's girl before moving down here. I was like Janai. My mom was the best at everything. And I know my stepmom was probably like, you fucking raggedy bitch. Shut up about your mom. My mom was the best at everything.
That's why she's the ex-bitch.
She's the best driver. She's the best cook. She's the best this. She's the best that. And then I moved down here and I was like, I hate it here.
I'm in hell.
Like genuinely that's how it felt. Like my mom, and before I get too much into it, let me say this, okay? I can talk about my mom. However, y'all cannot. So whatever the fuck I say, this is a safe space. The net is not a safe space, but this is a safe space and we are going to hold grace and space for my mother and her trauma. But she sucked. Like, my mom sucked as a parent, to be honest. And I think that I say this all the time. If my mom would have never had kids, she would have been the favorite auntie. She would have been the favorite auntie. She would be the auntie that everybody wants to go over. She would be spoiling all of her nieces and nephews. Like, my mom is just not, she doesn't have the capacity.
That's the version of Kelsi's mom that I get. Like, when I first met her mom, I'm like, I love your mom. And like, the little time that we lived down the street from each other, for like a year, we lived down the street from each other. And I was
best days of my life.
Best days. But it was like, oh my gosh, everything that she would always tell me, I'm like, I don't see that. And then obviously, time goes on and you're like, oh, I see certain little traits. But your mom, you can tell like she has so much love to give to people around her. And like, she's so like welcoming and like, she's so nurturing.
She's so nurturing. Yeah. She just doesn't have the bandwidth and she doesn't have patience. And, my mom was working from 12 to 12. So she would literally go in. And the thing is, my mom is so fucking smart. My mom is a professional college student. She's got like 4 master's degrees in the field of psychology, which is why I'm such a brainy bitch. But she's so intelligent. And, she moved down here to get away from...
Avoid
it. To get away from... My mama likes hood niggas, and... my mama got into some stuff. I'm not going to do too much with that one. Actually, I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But my mom was into some men that weren't necessarily the best, and she had to move down here to get away from some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll have to do what she had to do. But she moved down here, and I talked about this in another episode, but she had no family down here. She was with a guy who was terrible, who was mistreating her, who was freaking abusing her in every which way possible. And then, you know, she wanted to be the mom that's doing what she needed to do for her kids, so she moved us down here, even though that probably was not the best decision. But I'm glad because, hey, now we're here. But she moved down here and she was miserable and she was so stressed out and she was lonely and she was sad and she was broken and she had no capacity to pour into teenage girls.
3 of them at that.
3 of them. That's expensive. Like, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment the entire time we lived here. 3 girls lived in 1 room. When she wasn't working, she was asleep. Okay. When she wasn't working, she was asleep or trying to just, like, you know, whatever to take the edge off. And so she didn't have patience. She didn't have the attention span. She didn't pour into us. She didn't, like, you know, and she was so high strung and she doesn't have like good communication skills. And so when you're raising 3 daughters, there are emotions, there are things that go into it. Not only that, you know, we're also experiencing trauma because before we even moved here, my mom and dad had a very volatile relationship. Like, we had the type of parents where, like, we'd be with our dad and my mom would be on the phone and be like, tell your fucking dad, da-da-da. We'd have to tell our dad and he'd be like, tell your mom that. Like, it was messy. It was very messy. And, you know, it continued to be messy. So the stuff that we saw growing up, like, I remember for most of my middle school years, pretty much like 2 to 3 times a week, my sisters and I would be up until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning because my mom and her boyfriend would be like fighting so bad. Like, at least once a week we were calling the cops to the house because it was getting like so violent. And so I don't think that's necessarily the healthiest thing for children to grow up seeing. And my mom, like I said, she doesn't have any communication style. So everything was just yelling and screaming and bitching. And, like, you know, the hardest part about now, like, this space is I feel like in so many ways I've hated my mom. And I feel like in so many ways I am just like her. Like, I'm literally witnessing myself turn into my mom. And it's like, you know, I don't really like that. I don't really, I don't find that to be enjoyable to, like, experience, but also to, like, witness. It's like I'm, like, looking at myself from a bird's eye view and I'm like,
do you
Kelsi,
feel like maybe, like, these are, okay, do you feel as though maybe these are things that are just ingrained in you or learned traits, or do you feel like these are situational things, right? Like, I feel like I'm noticing things about myself that are traits of hers because of situational, like...
current situational?
Or just in general, like in life. Like you said, I'm noticing there are ways that I'm like her. I'm sure that you noticing is not like, oh, I woke up today and I did some shit that was like my mom. It's like a constant learning, like the way that you react to certain things in certain times, whether it was now or a year ago or 6 years ago or whatever the case may be, right? You know that it's a trait of hers. Do you feel like those things are based on situational, like, conflict or situational baggage or whatever the case may be? Or do you think these are things that are, like, ingrained in you? Are these learned behaviors?
Both. And I think that sometimes it just shows up in situational. It shows up situationally. It shows up situationally, but it is something that is ingrained. Like, when I'm mad, I told you, when I met Micah, our sister Micah, that was the first person that really showed me. And, like, I had an aha moment and I think I cried about it. But that was the first person that showed me that you could be angry and not, like, I'm so stiff when I'm mad. Like, you're going to know, you're going to feel it. And it's not like I'm trying to do that just naturally. That's how being angry looked to me. When you're mad, everybody's going to know you're mad. Everybody's going to feel it. Because my mother would literally, like, the whole house, like, we walk around, like, not talking whenever we were in rooms with her because she would be like, it was so abrasive. Like, David had said to me the other day, like, your anger takes over the whole house. And I feel like that is what my mom would do all the time. And so I don't think about it. That's just what I saw. So that's what I learned. That's what being angry looks like. And situationally, especially, like, you know, I lived by myself for however fucking many years that I did. And so I think it's a lot easier for my, like, issues or my traumas to kind of stay here, like, within me and my own bubble, because you got to think, you and I don't live together, right? So there's not very much that you and I are going to be, like, in deep I don't see a necessity for me and my homegirls to be into it. Like, we can go home, we can take a breather. But living with somebody, living with somebody, I think, really brings all of like the best and the worst qualities out of you because you're with this person 24/7. And, again, being a person who kind of thrives with a good bit of, not isolation, but like time with myself, like me time. So being in a relationship where I'm living with my partner, like there is really no me time. Like there is, like I'll carve pockets out, but we live together. We're going to wake up next to each other, go to sleep next to each other, and everything in between probably do with each other as well. So I think situationally it's just showing up so much more now because, I wouldn't have had the opportunity for this to show up in a relationship with my friends or, like I don't live with my parents anymore. I don't live with my siblings. So being in such close proximity to somebody, like I feel like situationally it's definitely showing up more, but I think it's ingrained. I think that it's just what I knew growing up. And like I said, Micah truly was the first person that I was like, wow, she's angry, but she sounds so sweet. She's being so nice to me.
Or disagreement, rather.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just like with her interaction with me or just in general how she interacted with people when she would be angry. Like it didn't look like the way that I look when I'm angry. I feel like you and I kind of look similar when we're both mad.
I'm not gonna
I think we're both, so, that was normal. But seeing Micah, and then also not just before, just think about the friends that we had before. Like, they kind of were
rowdy
when they were angry. It was very, like the angry black woman syndrome, And so meeting Micah, this fucking ethereal
soft fairy of a woman,
she's like, yeah, I don't like that. Bitch could have fooled me. It sounds like you love it. But yeah, I think that it's showing. But bringing it back to last week's episode 15, it's funny, Janai and I had a moment because we've been dissecting this episode like
since before y'all even saw it.
Since it was filmed. We've been dissecting it by ourselves, like individually, but then as a collective too, and then back to individually. And
we keep meeting back at the middle. Like so this is
what
I thought about this. So we talked about it literally last night. I got here last night. And we're having a bunch of other conversations. She goes, so I've been thinking about the episode. I'm like, bitch, I hate when you start thinking. You always thinking something.
But it was funny because Janai had a conversation with her bestie Lex and Lex's partner. And she's a therapist. And so she had a different scope. And it's so funny because I told Janai what I had processed about the episode, and it directly aligned with what, her friend had told her too. And I was like, I don't really think that the point that I was trying to drive home was that you're not an adult. Because to be honest, I think that you do a lot of things that are very adult, but I think that the point that I was trying to make is that you're fucking entitled and you're spoiled. And the reason why it's such a thing for me, like if I see somebody else that's like entitled and spoiled, I don't really give a fuck. Like, live the life that you were fucking afforded, bitch. But I think with Janai, because we're so close, her spoiled entitlement now bleeds into like our relationship, and it affects me in a negative way. And so I think that was more so the point that I was trying to drive home is like, because of your privilege, you've become a little bit entitled, by a little. We're both bending the truth here.
We know we're both bending the truth here, so.
But it was just another way that I was like, wow, this trauma is showing up again. And it's because like, bitch, you had to work for every fucking thing. Like you've had to work so hard for everything. And so when I see people that have been given opportunities, I'm like, damn, bitch, like you could really hit a fucking layup with that. But instead you're fucking sitting here like, I don't want to do this. And I think that's triggering for me. For whatever reason, I think it's triggering because, bitch, everybody needs to fucking work. Everybody needs to fucking work around this bitch. I'm tired of being the only bitch working.
I think that within that, like she said, we keep having these conversations. And so my mom even called. We had a conversation with her this morning about it. And just all the different perspectives, right? Because in one token, that same friend that we were talking to, Lex, she shares a similar kind of like outlook and upbringing. Her mom is pretty much the same way. Her mom a little bit more cutthroat, and like probably not as like nurturing as my mom, but same thing. Like she don't play about her babies. Yeah, they set up. Like if she needs some shit, she can call her mama. Like they gonna figure it out. They gonna do it for her. And Alexis' outlook, I guess when her and Sid were talking about it, was more like, why are you mad at me for being privileged?
Yeah.
And like this whole idea that Black people are supposed to struggle and you're not supposed to be privileged and you're not supposed to have and you're not supposed to whatever. Even in the comments, so many people were like, oh, she got a white mama. That's the only answer to this. Like, you got a white mom. Like, and it's like, damn, no, like that's not everybody's experience.
Yeah.
And not that that's what you were trying to put off on me, but there are a lot of people
that's like
who,
a big
that's a big thing. Like
perspective.
you need to work hard because I had to work hard and I'm not going to teach my kids not to work hard. So if I had to struggle, whether you have to struggle or not, you're going to learn to struggle so that you don't ever have to be like in the shoes that I was put in. And you know, like it's almost like punishment. Like, and I think why are you punishing me for being here? Bitch, you could have went to the clinic.
But I think some people...
You should have went to the clinic.
And should have.
Like...
The way that Lex's partner explained it was like, I can literally see that Kelsi's not processing in the moment. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what happens is I don't think that they necessarily understand and process like, I want you to work because of this. Because again, I didn't process that until after when I was fucking sitting in my fucking room, twiddling my fucking thumbs and thinking. But I don't think a lot of people take the time to process that that's what's happening. But I think also it's kind of more so, this is what I saw growing up, so this is the right way. And I'm the opposite. Like, I'm very much so, like, I want our kids to know leisure. I want our kids to be able to have the leisure and frolic in life, to be able to make the decisions based on who they genuinely are and what they want, not what they think that we're pushing on them or what society wants them to. So I'm 100% with you in that. But I do want, you know, my children, and I don't think I drove that point home. I think the support is beautiful, necessary, and well-deserved because yes, your kids should know privilege. Black people should know privilege. Black people what the fuck do white people deserve privilege for?
Yeah, like you're giving it literally in every part of your life.
What the fuck do y'all
for
deserve
everything
privilege
that you do.
for?
I feel like, and that's another thing, like, finish first, what?
But wait, bitch, because is privilege given or is privilege taken?
So this is what I was going to say earlier, right? When you were talking about having a Caribbean parent and like whatever and
crazy parent,
all those things, right? These are slave mentalities that are taught to us.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, right? And I don't want to say this and sound like ignorant or sound like whatever, but this whole idea of the American dream, when you, I guess, become Americanized to a certain point, you start to get American privileges because not for nothing, I'm Black, but I have a little bit more American privileges. My parents aren't first generation Americans or whatever. Like,
right.
They've been here for a minute, you know? So it's like our privileges now look different. Mm-hmm. I think that is something too. Like, this is a lot deeper than just like my kids are my property. You were taught that you were property. Yeah. And so now, you know, that trickles down over and over and over and over again, generations. White people don't have that. You were never taught that you were property. You were never, you know, so like, the privilege is ingrained in them. Like how we talked about inherently all white people aren't racist, if you want to believe that. Or you could believe inherently they are. Like, and you can choose to take with what I say however you want to roll. And you can decide what you think I believe. But
I think racist until proven otherwise.
I think and inherently, even if it's not like taught to them, like, you have to hate Black people, you have to hate Hispanic, you have to hate, or whatever, right?
It's so ingrained.
It's ingrained in them. And like, whether it's taught to you or not, there's still this air of like, I think I'm better than you. And I'm not saying this because of like how I feel. I have a lot of white people in my life and we have open conversations like this.
And you see it.
You know, I have clients who are white, I have coworkers who are white, and we have these type of conversations. And I think that trickles down into the parenting too. So that whole idea of, well, that's a white mom trait or that's a whatever trait. And it's like, you know, they probably are a lot nicer to their children. They're not battling the fucking world on top of whatever else. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that everybody doesn't have things, right? Everybody has things. But it's just like, it's a little bit different for us.
I definitely think it's a way to keep us in a box. Even the whole, we had this conversation before. I think one of the biggest problems within the Black community is not prioritizing the Black family. And I am not necessarily saying that because obviously, you know, I'm a product of divorce. I don't think that necessarily means that you have to grow up in a shitty household. Like, you're a product of divorce, yet you still have a very strong relationship with your mom and dad. Yes, it was rough whenever things were going on, but like, everybody did what they needed to do to come together. Like, one of my other best friends, Bree, her family's like that. Like, everybody's, you know, first, second, third baby father, they all come together at these events and everybody keeps it fucking cute and keeps the family together. And I think that is like, they want you to treat your kids like shit because that breaks up the family. On top of that, I think people also forget, you know, the slaves that were the most unruly, the slaves that were the most difficult, they were sent to the Caribbean. So like, there's levels to this. The trauma of like a Black American kid and the trauma of a Caribbean and or African child, I'm not saying that my
No,
life
one
was
doesn't
harder
outweigh
than
the
the
other,
other,
but there's
it's
different.
brutal.
But that's what I said,
Like, it is
the
very
American
brutal.
the black American privilege versus being an immigrant child.
Like,
but I tell you that all the time.
It's very different. It's not the same. Like, my struggles were not the same. Like, the way that they make little girls feel, like weaponizing their sexuality, weaponizing everything against women. You're supposed to sit there, cook your man fucking dinner, and shut the fuck up.
I told you when we were like in high school, my other group of friends, majority of them are from immigrant parents. And there were just so many things when we were younger, and I'd be like, why you gotta do that? Like, fucking changing your clothes before you leave. Like, my mom probably picked this skirt out for me. Like, oh, this is gonna be cute. You need to wear this.
Change the clothes before you leave?
You know, like if we're going out, like, oh, let me bring an extra pair of clothes. This is what I'm gonna wear out of the house, but this is what I'm gonna put on when we get in the car.
Oh, because they're so strict?
Yeah, because your mom not playing that shit. Like,
no, we definitely did that a few times.
Yeah, but I never experienced that.
You never had to sneak.
You never had to sneak. Girl, my mama, I told you she would make our clothes. Girl, I wanted to wear a thong. I don't know, have we told this story before?
You might have, I don't know.
I wanted to wear a thong in like 4th grade. And I go to my mom because all she wore, this is so like in her
Mommy's
business
such a hot
or whatever.
girl.
She's such a hot girl.
Mommy is so fine.
Yeah, she's such a hot girl. But she's like,
you gonna talk about mommy all episode again?
Mommy gets the views. No, I'm just kidding. But either way it goes. And so I'm like, I want to wear this thong. And she's like,
okay.
Do you? I'm like, yeah, like whatever. She's like, all right, bet. We got a 5'7".
Period.
Showing my age.
5'7".
We got a 5'7" in Stonecrest. And she's like, pick out what you want. I pick out this cute little, little thongy number, whatever. Girl, I put that shit on. And before I could even make it off the bus to get into the schoolhouse,
take
bitch.
This shit off.
If you don't take this shit off, I felt like a never-ending wedgie. And for the long, it was like a lesson learned. Like 4th grade, I did not wear a thong again. I think until I was like in 9th grade. And it was by force because I played volleyball and I wasn't going to have panty lines. But saying that to say, that is not an experience that any of my other friends would have had. And even like the ones who aren't Caribbean, like they're raised by Southern Christian women. So that's a whole nother
case of trauma.
That's a whole case of trauma on top of that too. But I think like there were so many things that I'm like, oh, that's not my experience. And I didn't understand like where it came from. Because I'm like, what you mean your mama, once again, shitty like parenting. And I don't know if it's shitty. I don't think they know any better. But I think also too, maybe they don't want to do any better.
This is, okay, so I was telling Micah the other day, I am in a perpetual cycle when it comes to my parents, right? Something happens and I realize my parents were lacking and this problem it stems from something that my parents did, right? Then the next phase is understanding, okay, well, they did the best that they could and like just reliving their trauma. I'm like, dang, like this is why you're the way that you are. And like, I see you as human. Then it's like the forgiveness of like, let's try to move forward. Let's work through. Right. And then something happens again and the cycle just keeps fucking repeating.
And we have a conversation on the pod and she's like, fuck them.
There's a whole episode of me going in on my mom that will never see the light of day. Cause I'm like,
you was going hard.
I was doing a lot. And again, like I said, I can say whatever I want to say about my mama, but that's my mom, okay? That's not your mom to talk about. That's my mom to talk shit. Like, the fuck? You don't talk shit about somebody's mom. You talk shit about your own mom.
But I think also, too, this is another thing. It's like giving grace. We talked about this earlier. It's like, yeah, I'm mad and I have all these things that I had to heal from because of you and whatever did. I still love you.
Okay, I still love you, but you know what really pisses me off about my mom?
What?
I mean, like, really fucking grinds my gears.
Okay, Peter. What?
My mom, like I said, has like 4 master's degrees in psychology.
Yeah.
All of what she learned is based around early childhood development, or not necessarily early childhood, but childhood development in general. You had all the tools right there at your fingertips to show you. Bitch, when you walked into my room, what book was on the freaking...
I walked in last night and I'm like, look at my little brainiac. It's like the something of the brain. And then I picked that book up and it's like a sociology of human nature or
like,
some shit.
I'm so
like such a brainiac.
And I have my flaws and I have my whatever the fuck, right? But I feel like I do so much to learn about a better way of being a parent because of how fucking chaotic and how derailing my childhood was. And so I'm like, why did you not see all this and see that you didn't like the way that it felt and decide to do better?
But I think sometimes too, because we talk about how great my mom is, there's some like situations where I'm like, you fucked up. You definitely dropped the ball. And so like when you were like, you know better, why didn't you do better? We talk about all the time, and we'll probably get into this on another episode, but you actively, something that you experienced, what?
No, yes.
Oh, something that you experienced, you experienced, and you know how it fucking tore your life up. now that I'm experiencing it, you know that this could tear my fucking life up, but we just gonna sweep this shit under the rug. Like,
you know
it
what I'm
doesn't
saying?
matter.
Or just refuse to get the help that you need to get.
Yeah,
or but also it's
fuck is
like,
wrong with you?
I wonder what the layers of that are, right? Because my mother is also very, like, her father's a pastor. You grew up in church.
Maybe you don't want to process your trauma.
But that's, within the Black community, trauma's not real.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously, I don't think that my mom adheres to this because, hello, she's a psychologist, but it's not, you don't go get help. You pray. Okay. You better pray to God. You better get on your knees and pray. Okay. And my grandparents, like I said, they are very Christian, and we come from a very Caribbean Christianity, babe. Like, so I wonder if I wonder if one of the layers of that is like, she didn't take time to process her trauma because she didn't acknowledge it because of her religious background. Like because I asked her that, we had a whole powwow when my family had come over for one of my sister's birthdays. We had a whole powwow with my mom, and she's like, breaking down. She's like, I just didn't know. And I'm like, I get it. That's cute. But like, yes, you did. Like, you're a psychologist. Like, I didn't even complete my psychology degree, and I can list you why you should know.
But this is the thing too, right? It's like that I told you I have the ability to like disassociate and just forget things and like whatever. And like someone else, my Nana does that all the time. My mom tells a story about how Nana slapped the shit out of me. And my grandmother to this day, I don't know what she's talking about. Like Nana, what the fuck? Everybody remembers this story, but I never did that. So like maybe it's a thing of like, that's the way that the trauma processes to her. Like, she dissociates, and sometimes she really might not, and not giving her any excuse, but that might be the way that she processes the trauma. Like, I don't remember it being as bad as you say it was. Like, yeah, it might have been bad, but it wasn't that bad. Like, no, bitch.
Yeah, to be fair, because, I don't realize how abrasive I come off sometimes. And like, we talk about this all the time, how we naturally, our stature, like, we intimidate people without even trying. And there genuinely are times where somebody will tell me I'm being like super intimidating, and I'm like, I'm being fucking normal. And so I'm like, maybe, but again, this was normal for her because this is how her parents treated her. So nothing about it would seem out the norm. It's like, oh, I'm just being a parent. Like, I'm just whatever. Or, but no, like, you were insufferable, which, at times I feel like I can be insufferable at times, but you were insufferable.
But I think it takes someone wanting to change. We had the conversation with my mom this morning, and she was like, I raised y'all this way because that's how my mom raised me. Yeah. My grandmother was not raised that way. And like, we've kind of gotten to that before. And it's like, she experienced so much fucking trauma that like, no matter, my grandmother was a mom at 13. She experienced the amount of trauma that she was like, I don't give a fuck what I do with the 4 of these kids that came out of me. They will never have to experience that. They'll never know we're poor. They'll never know that I don't have. They'll never know I'm getting beat up by whatever. They'll never know. And so she was like, I saw that type of parenting. If you were able to go through all of that and still be such a good ass mom, I have no choice but to be a good parent. And so I think it takes someone wanting to say like, you know what? I want to be a good parent. Like, I think that is the difference. There's some people who want to, and there's some people who don't. And not saying that your mom does not want to, but it might have been a thing, like, maybe she doesn't want to be real enough with herself and say, like, I didn't want you bastards.
And I think, no, to be fair, I think my mom is a great person, and like, my mom loves us fiercely. I don't think that my mom genuinely wants to do the work of becoming a better parent, and
or a better person.
It's exhausting. And my mother I won't put her age out there, but I'm almost 30, okay? And I was the third. So you got to think my mom was a mature lady when she had me. And I think she wants a better relationship with us, and I can only imagine how lonely it is. I can't imagine birthing children and not being super close to them. I can't imagine birthing children and not being able to like pick up and just come hang out with them. Like the way that you and mommy, I would have moments when we first became friends. I would have so many moments where I would just start crying when I would see you and mommy together, because it's like, dang, part of me really wishes, all of me wishes that was a thing, but part of me just understands that I'll never have that. But I can't imagine being a mother and like carrying and birthing and not having that. So I know that for her, it's probably extremely, and my mom has a fear of being alone. So I know not like having that close relationship with all of her children definitely affects her, but I can know about that and still not, I feel like I struggle with boundaries, right? Because it's like, I'll want that and I'll try to have that. And then because you are who you are, it just doesn't pan out.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's also like another constant like push and pull of like, okay, I'm fucking with my mom again. Like, we're talking every single day for hours on the phone, to my mom does something dumb and I'm
Now
not
you're
talking to
like,
her for 6
but I think
months.
also too, it's like that one little thing becomes like a trickle effect. Like,
yeah,
you pissed me off about this, but now it made me realize when we was 14, you did this. Like, these are things that keep coming up and you're not changing them.
It's like constant realizations that you're not changing, right? And it's like you want to believe and you give so many opportunities for, and not that you have to prove shit to me, right? You don't have to prove a motherfucking thing to me. You're grown. But it's like, I be hoping and wishing that you know, the ways that you have about you, you work on. And then it's like, you get close again and I realize
you might not.
you're the same.
But I think that's so frustrating because, like, you know, taking out of like the parental realm, with your parent, you don't get to pick and choose whether I'm gonna like, okay, you know what, I've had it up to here with you and I'm cool. You can, you know what I'm saying? But like, this my mom, it's my parent. When you have that type of relationship with a parent and then you go into other relationships or friendships or whatever, I feel like we've talked about before how you're so quick to, like, friendships be like,
I'm out.
I'm cool, like, I'm good. And I wonder if it's because it's like, you know, you can't clip that from the one relationship that kind of like formed all these relationships.
Explain.
But with you, I have to kind of deal with this. I don't have to deal.
It was like when I was talking to Gerald on the bed. He's like, I'm protecting my peace. I don't have to.
Gerald's
I am
my stepdad.
Gerald's her stepdad. And he's a Pisces. I'm a Pisces. I'm deeply sensitive. Like, I am probably like, it's so crazy because you cry so freely, but I think I'm probably like the most sensitive person I know. And I am so deeply affected by things. Like, it's not that deep. It's like a mantra that I hate to hear because it really fucking is. It really is that fucking deep. Everything is that fucking deep to me. I'm like happy, I'm a crackhead. When I'm down, I'm like about to jump off a fucking cliff. And so I don't want to give people the opportunity. Like, if you do something that indicates to me or that makes me feel that way, I'm not going to like I don't want to willingly subscribe to that. Yeah, I don't want to subscribe to having an open relationship with somebody that makes me feel this way because I know me, bitch, and I will get down. I will be sliding down the wall crying like drama, soap opera. I don't want to feel that. So like, if I feel like you're somebody that's playing with me in that way, I don't know. You're clipped. Like, what? No, I'm sensitive, bitch. I don't want to deal with that. No.
Yeah, and it is what it
I've
is.
been very, and I don't think I'm, go ahead.
Because I was going to say, but also too, you get frustrated too. I think you have it's not an ability. You tend to like pick up people who fucking need fixing. And so it's like, yeah, you got, so one of Kelsi's diagnoses is she wants to be responsible for every fucking thing. Like, you got that idea because who gave it to you? Oh, like, that's her thing. And like, she's working on it.
But
so not too much of my fucking friend.
I've been analyzing that too. And I think that growing up, the only way that we got like recognition for things was being smart.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think my parents cared about anything else. I don't think my parents cared about any of the talents. I don't think they were like, go to school. And so getting good grades, you know, shit like that, you were praised. That's the only, you know, you're always seeking your parents' validation and your parents' approval and like whatever. And I don't think I remember when I had moved out and like bought a car, this is how mean my mom was. And again, not too much on my mom. Cassie is the middle. I'm the baby. Between my mom and dad, I was the baby of 3 girls. My eldest sister moved out and went to the military. Cassie had, I think at this point, moved out and she moved to Chattanooga. My mom had co-signed a car for her or whatever. I had moved out. I had, you know, a really good job. I was buying my first car and like my mom was like, you know, I can't co-sign for you. I'm like, okay, it's fine, whatever. Can you just put me on your insurance? I'll pay for it, but can you just put me on your insurance so it's cheaper? My mom is somebody who wants everybody to do everything for her, but when it comes time for you to ask her to do something, oh, baby, you gonna get nothing but attitude. So I call her at work, and I'm like, hey, I'm on the phone with the insurance people, and she starts going off on me, like cussing me the fuck out. She's like, I'm at fucking work. Like, you want me to drop everything and fucking, and I'm just like, all you guys do is tell these people, like, to put me on the insurance or whatever. And I remember thinking, like, how about like, Kelsi, I'm proud of you. Like, wow, like you're buying your first car. Like, that's an experience that I feel like I should have had with my mom. Like, we should have been going to dealerships together. We should have been like, this is something that I should have been talking to you about, but instead I'm fucking begging you to put me on your insurance and you're cussing me out because you have to fucking walk away from your desk for 5 seconds. Like,
you hate that fucking place anyway.
You hate that place. Like, I don't give a fuck. And so So yeah, I think that in my household, the way that you got praised was being smart. And so that's why I'm such a fucking like brain snob now. I told you, like something about somebody that's not smart just doesn't do it for me. I don't like feeling like I'm talking to a stupid person.
So that's what was going to be my follow-up. And I'm like, that's why you are, well, with the you got to be smart thing. But also, because I think you've watched so many people around you not want to be better, it's one of your like lifelong goals to be the very best version of Kelsi, which is a great goal. When you feel like other people are not trying to be better, like, clipped. Like, what are you doing? I'm fucking over you. I'm over this. I'm over. You're an idiot.
You're an idiot. Yeah. Like, you're a fucking loser, and you want to stay a loser, and you're gonna stay a loser because you want to get the fuck up.
This is how she talk for real, y'all. Like,
sorry,
that fucking loser ass bitch, because you want to be miserable by your fucking self. You don't want to work on your fucking trauma.
That's how I be feeling though. Like, I cannot understand. You know, I've been getting closer with chat lately, and I'm so against. I don't like AI. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it, but I'm using it because it's here, and nobody else is gonna stop using it. So, but yeah, that was something that I feel like I was talking to Chad about. I don't understand it when people see like negative things about themselves and don't want to work on it, and like somehow I take that as like you expect everybody else to put up with your shit because you don't want to work on it. When in reality, yes and no, but I think that's where boundaries are important. I think that's what I'm struggling with is like setting a boundary between like, I don't want your shit to affect me because I do everything that I can to make sure that my shit doesn't fucking affect you. So I think I'm just learning how to like set certain boundaries and be okay. Like not trying to fix other people or not trying to, cause like, you know, I can't fix what they don't want to fix.
You think it's cause you're trying to low-key like fix your parents? Like, oh, I'm fixing everybody else around me because I know I can't fix them, but maybe I can fix you. Yeah, I never thought I had nothing deep to say. I do.
Janai gonna have the somber fucking music in the back of her clip. I don't know if that's what it is or if it genuinely is like a hyper awareness. And so I think the way I've always thought about it and the way that I was talking to my chat about it is like,
that's why you're on edge. I'm reading her for filth today.
My nervous system, y'all, I'm so jumpy. Anyways, the way that I've always seen it is I try to be the best version of myself. So anytime I notice something about me, like, I don't think I receive criticism poorly. And as my friend, transparently, do you think that I receive criticism well?
Yes.
Like constructively?
Yes. If the criticism is genuinely constructive.
Right. And not a bitch talking shit about me.
Yeah.
Because you bitches like to chat.
I was about to say, if it's genuinely constructive, sometimes I feel like if you don't understand where it's coming from, you're a little combative. But I think for the most part,
because I need to get it.
Yeah. If you don't get it, you're very much like, it might take a little bit to drill in your head. But overall,
like it needs
I think
to make sense. Which I think is good because that just means that like nobody can randomly come up to you and tell you about you. Like, let me understand. Like, and I'm not saying that because you're wrong. What I'm saying is I don't see how the dots are connecting. Yeah. But I think that like I am always trying to work on myself and work on these qualities. So I look at other people and I assume that when I give you constructive criticism, in my brain, that's what it is constructive criticism. It's like, you know, if you're not ready to work on that thing, it might come off as like an attack, like a personal attack. And like, you know, a part of me wants to say that's a you problem and not a me problem because that's not what I'm responsible for what I say, not what you hear. But also the part of me that's growing understands that, like, you know, you are responsible for how the people that you love are receiving your words, and not necessarily responsible for, but like it is your responsibility to kind of like help bring them to the point too.
100%. This is also to my other thing. Do you feel like sometimes like, is it even warranted for you to speak up about it, especially if it's something that like we've been talking about and I know that's not going to change, like, or if it's somebody didn't ask? Like, you have to think, if there's something, I'll bring certain things to you that I'm like, hey, like somebody said this to me. I've been thinking about that. As my friend, do you feel like whatever? And then you'd be like, well, friend, you know, I can see that. But like, if you feel like you're just giving criticism, like going back to what we said, sometimes just shut the fuck up. Because what if they don't want to be better and you're giving them active criticism?
Right.
I don't give a fuck about nothing. So even if I wasn't in a mode to like be open to your criticism, I don't want to hear it at all because I didn't ask for it.
Right. I think that's the thing too. And that's like part of like the full circle moment of understanding that sometimes people don't. So I do have to learn to pick and choose. But I think for me, in most cases, when I'm bringing it to somebody, it's because you're affecting me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not because I'm just watching what you're doing something that is now like, it's a you thing, but now it's becoming a me thing. And maybe like, I think if roles were reversed and somebody's shit was now bleeding into you, you might be a little bit better at putting it off, but I'm somebody that takes on every responsibility around her. And so, no, I don't want to take anything extra on. I'm already jam-packed, okay? I'm at capacity with the shit that I have the capacity for. I don't have the capacity for you and your selfish ways today. Like, I don't have the capacity for you to fucking sit here and be inconsiderate and make me feel 10 times worse when I'm already fucking doing this shit. Because, like, I pick up the slack.
But going back to childhood, I never had to pick up my parents' slack.
Yeah.
Ever. So, like,
we grew up really fast.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. So now in the adult realm, shit, when you start to affect me, I literally can walk away. Because, like, I was given the opportunity to be like, why the fuck are you... Get a job to help pay a bill in this bitch for what? Like, y'all wanted this big-ass house.
Cassie and I moved out when we moved out for, like, 2 weeks, right? And...
Where did y'all go?
Long story long. I talked, I think, one episode about the best friend that I had who was like living with us.
Yes, you did tell me about that.
So her and her mom were living in like an extended stay, and so we stayed there for a couple of days. But I know it was holiday time, so we were about to go down to our dad's in Memphis anyway. While we were here, like, you know, living on our own, I was like, fuck, I was working at the time. Cassie wasn't. Cassie was a late bloomer for everything, right? So I was like, dang, I got to figure out bitch, I'm making $7.25 at Yogli Mowgli, okay? And I'm like, I got to figure out like how I'm going to get us breakfast and I'm going to get us fucking lunch and shit. Like I was like the older sister for a lot of things. But yeah, I feel like I had to grow up really, really fast and I had to be responsible for things that I shouldn't have had. I started working at 12. Why, bitch? Go to fucking school.
Yeah.
But like, no, like there were times where, bitch, like, you know, I told you before, like we didn't always have food to eat. Like I didn't come from like trailer park, fucking like completely dirt poor, like that. But we were pretty fucking poor.
But I think that's a thing too. It's like, I told you when we moved out to Henry County, like I didn't think it was like anything else. I didn't think that we were any less than because everybody else was normal. But I feel like if you were like in the trailer park, it probably would have been easier. Bitch, I was living in Sandy Springs. Everybody got money and we don't got money. Like that's a difference. That is a whole different outlook.
All these
when everybody
Jewish
is broke
kids
around you. Yeah, when everybody is broke around you, it's just like,
it's okay.
Oh, it's cool. Like everybody broke together. But like, no, we're clearly broke. Like, first of all, we're doing a lot here. So I can understand that 100%, like how it's different. Poor. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think like, it really all stems back to your childhood and the trauma that you do or don't experience or whatever, because everybody experiences a level of trauma, but what that looks like on different levels, because like I said,
controllable.
Like it's 100% controllable.
Or how much your children experience.
It's 100% controllable because like I said, like, oh, you need to work at 12. I wanted a job and I cried about I wrote my mom a letter about how I wanted a job and she was like, girl, your only job is to take your ass to school. Get out of my face. Like it was like she was almost insulted to even hear that a job for what? Job? You get an allowance.
What do you need a job?
What do you need a fucking job for? Like you literally, I wire money to your account. What do you need a job for? Bitch, if you don't get out there and go hit a ball.
Literally,
like,
that's what you're supposed
be a
to
kid.
be doing.
You got your whole life to be an adult. Be a kid. And so I think, you know, the way that you operate throughout the world truly is, yeah, you've been an adult forever. And meanwhile.
And maybe that's also why that's so triggering is like the conversation we're having about being an adult. Like, I had to be an adult for forever. You don't ever have to be an adult if you don't want to. Bitch, if you never want to grow up,
girl, I'll be living in Dandyland. And like, but I think, you know, like we keep reiterating, right? Like two tales of two different stories, but it's interesting how we kind of end up at the same place. Like, you could look at my childhood and say like, oh wow, why aren't you a doctor? Why aren't you a lawyer? Bitch, you running your mouth on the couch as a dropout. Like you could have had a different path. You should have had a different path. Like that's going to be the next thing. Like, why are you not successful then if you had all the tools, bitch? Like, okay, sorry. And it's like, in your token, you probably should not have been. You were probably slated to be something else, right? And
a druggie.
And we still ended up here. So
fucking teen pregnancy.
There are a lot of things that could have went completely different and we still ended up here. So it's like, this goes to show that your trauma can like make or break you, but also too, you're in control.
You're in control, yeah.
Like and you can't use it to just be like, oh, woe is me.
But I'm not gonna lie though, it takes a lot of fucking work. Like it
Shit,
takes a lot.
yeah.
We talk about that too all the time, and like this is the last thing, and then we can wrap it up. But we talk about that all the time, how much work you and I have both been putting in that we're just now starting to see results from. And I don't think people realize how long, and I think a lot of people look at therapy as this like overnight fix, right? No, therapy is going to give you tools, but like you have to use those tools and put those tools in practice for long periods of time in order to rewire the way that your brain processes and like your go-to instinctual reactions to certain things. Like that shit doesn't just happen. But
maybe if you chose blue pill, girl, imagine if you had the option, right? And you had a blue pill as a kid.
to read thoughts,
Yeah, then maybe like you would have been able to be like, hey, mom, don't you think you want to? And then she'd be like, huh, maybe your child would have been different if you had that power.
girl, no, my mom would just got mad. No matter what the fuck you ask her.
Where the fuck you got that from?
Girl, she would get mad at everything we ask her to fucking pick. And like this is the thing too. She would be so mad all the time, but I think she was mad because she couldn't do. You know, that's
Like how when I get frustrated when I'm not good at something.
yeah, like I'm sure that the things that we asked for, she would have loved to be able to provide, but she couldn't. And when you feel helpless and like hopeless,
Defensive.
you know, again, not a fucking excuse, but when you're not your best self, you can't be your best self to anybody else. And that's always like the fucking the teeter-totter that I'm on with my mom is like, you sucked, but like fuck, like your life sucked growing up too, and like your fucking parents did not do right by you either. So like I get why you suck, but it still doesn't take away the fact that like you your sucking negatively affected me. I don't like that. I don't like, you know, that's a thing. I don't like other people.
You talked about that. I don't want to be inconvenienced.
Yeah, I have my
But
own
bitch,
shit
maybe
to
you
deal
should
with.
just stop picking it up.
Yeah,
I don't be
the
picking
problem.
nobody else shit up.
That's the problem.
That's what I said. Well, episode 11, I said, bitch, where your friends? Where your friends? Don't you got a mom you can call? I call my mom,
Don't you got
call
a mom you
yours.
can
like,
call?
why are you calling me? Like, why
Yeah,
are
I
you?
gotta
It's
stop
not
picking
my
people's
job
shit
but you know, once again,
It's hard.
that's privilege to be able to be like, I don't care. That doesn't affect me. Even if it does, like I'm not gonna let that affect me.
That's true.
Damn, everything comes down to privilege, honestly. Like,
So the message is the lighter the skin, the higher the privilege.
girl,
As a white woman,
here?
how does it feel having a white woman as a co-host speaking about all these black issues?
I want y'all to know we use the same color foundation this morning, same stick. So then there's that. Like we're both at our
not gonna lie, our
winter
palest.
shade. I was about to say we're both at our sugar cookie phase. So let's keep cute.
But I think to end things off, I want to say like I'm super appreciative and super grateful to you for. I think this is like the first time that I've had like a genuine safe space. I think we talk about this all the time about the depth of our friendship and how we genuinely feel like we're soulmates. And, you know, to have an environment where we can talk about the things that we may hate the most about ourselves, but so openly with one another and not like, I don't feel like you ever use my shit against me. And I don't feel like you ever
we're not
like
tearing each other up.
Yeah, I said that today. Like, one, because you're my bestie, but two, because you're a woman. I feel like when you see me, even if there are ugly things that are coming up, like where people may only see the ugly, you see everything else that like has made all of this up. And so it's like, oh, it's not an ugly fucking dot. It's just a piece of, you know, like one of the pieces of the painting or
But
whatever.
I think we share that too, like wanting to be better. Like that's one of
Yeah.
our common goals in life is to like be better and be better versions of ourselves. So I think it's easy for us to hold each other accountable and be like, yeah,
Nicely.
friend, you gotta
tighten up.
We gather each other on the daily basis, probably 3 to 4 times.
But like in the sweetest way.
In the sweetest way. When Kelsi wants to gather me and she wants to like keep it calm, she'll be like, so friend,
Let's smoke.
let's smoke.
Let's sit down and have a little
I'll be like,
chit-chat.
girl, what? And I'm so
called her
like,
last week. She's like, am I in trouble? No, girl.
no, like let's.
girl.
Then she goes, well, let's smoke together. I'm like, you better break up with me, bitch.
Drama.
Like, we done had 3 episodes come out. Now you want to break up? That's always a bitch who not ready for the limelight. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that's what keeps our relationship strong. Honestly, is like you need friends like this.
Yeah.
You need
Safe space,
relationships
honesty,
like
transparency.
this. Yeah.
So y'all was asking to get in my business. So I feel like that was a whole lot in my business. This is so like
We chest open.
Bare.
Like,
but
I
you know
should put
what?
my glasses on so I
A
can
bitch
be
can't
incognito, so a bitch can't see me. No, I'm just like,
fuck. I want to be a part. I want to be included.
Me too.
You know, a bitch can't never fucking talk about me. I was watching. Anyways, I'll tell you this off camera actually.
Okay.
fuck, like just always chit chatting.
Either way,
a little bit into my business. That was a little bit of insight into my childhood trauma and why I am the basket case that I am. I always refer to us as basket case. I'm like, why? What's your
trauma?
That was a little bit laundry. And
we got a lot of episodes to break down shit with y'all, so just be cool. Like clearly y'all like coming back, so we just gonna keep.
They like the drama.
Along. That's what I'm saying. We talked about this. I'm like, bitch, they don't want to hear no inspirational shit. She's like, yeah, they want to hear the turmoil. They want to hear, yeah. So
this was my sad story, a survivor story. You know that song? True ghetto story.
Yes.
Me.
Yeah, I feel like it is. We're so fake obsessed with each other. No, for real.
The real kind.
The real kind.
TRK, babe.
Yeah.
Anyways, y'all. We hope y'all enjoyed that episode of Kelsi's Basket Case of Trauma.
Yeah, listen.
We'll be back next week for more.
Yeah, this is not even an up from here. This is just Kelsi unpacking.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be back on up
Kelsi's therapy session.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make that the thumbnail.
Oh, yeah. That's the title of this episode.
Like a little Kelsi's therapy session.
Kelsi's therapy. POV part 2. Kelsi unloads.
Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe, share all the good stuff, and we'll see you same time next week.
Bye.